We'll return to regular order, and I believe I was the next one in line to ask questions, so I'll recognize myself for 5 minutes. And with that, turn to Mr. Tarone. Would you care to expand and explain a little bit more about your analysis of the Monograph 112 program and all those issues?
Yes. I specifically want to answer a couple of issues that Dr. Sass raised. First, with regard to hemangiosarcomas, I did consider hemangiosarcomas, and it in fact is one of the examples in which IARC excluded exculpatory data. In the second mouse study, where they did not discuss renal tumors, they emphasized the finding in hemangiosarcomas that Dr. Sass referred to. There were 4 hemangiosarcomas in the highest dose group. That was all, none in the other 3 groups. But in the first mouse study, the one where they spent 3 paragraphs on renal tumors, they didn't mention hemangiosarcomas. So it's the same thing that happened with renal tumors. So, and it turns out that in that study, there was 1 hemangioma in the low dose groups and 1 hemangiosarcoma in the mid dose group, and none in the highest dose group. And by the way, that highest dose group, glyphosate was 3% of the diet that they ate for every day for 2 years. It's an incredibly high dose. So you would have expected, if what they saw in the second study was a true high dose effect, you would have expected to see it in the first study. But again, that was not even mentioned in the IARC monograph. And Dr. Sass also raised the issue of the accuracy of the tumor rates that I got from the supplemental tables in the Critical Reviews in Toxicology paper. And in fact, as I pointed out at the end of my comments, everything in my paper has in fact been substantiated by things published since, including comments submitted to the EPA glyphosate SAP by Chris Portier, who was the scientific expert for the IARC working group. And his comments were presenting his statistical analysis of all of the rodent studies that EPA was considering. And they considered many more than IARC, but they also considered all the studies that IARC relied upon. If you look at his tables upon which his analysis was based, in every case in which I indicated in my paper that IARC had excluded tumor rates, those tumor rates are in those tables in the comments he submitted to EPA. They were included in his EPA analysis, which is an admission that they should have been included in the IARC analysis. Moreover, they were exactly the rates that I reported that I got from these supplementary tables in the Grime et al. Review. So certainly Christopher Portier now thinks that those rates are okay.
Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Pastoor, could you visit with us for a moment about the ways in which the current Monograph program classification system on carcinogenicity might be outdated? Expand on that, please.
Well, the primary reason that it's outdated and outmoded and needs to either be scrapped or considerably revised is because they stick with a hazard classification system. All they do is declare something as being carcinogenic or not. Modern 21st century risk assessment-oriented regulatory programs, such as what Dr. Lowit has described with the United States EPA, uses that risk-based system to put hazard in context of risk. How much would cause that effect? What is the potency of that particular chemical? IARC was created over nearly 50 years ago, and they really haven't progressed beyond the point of only classifying things by its carcinogenicity, but not putting it in the context of risk.
Thank you. I think with that now, I will yield back and